Sir John, was he the one in green?
Yeah.
He was funny.
It was good. I liked there's comedy in it. I was laughing. Nice atmosphere, I guess.
Sense and Sensibility, a story of two sisters during the Regency era in the early 1800s. On the evening of the 30th of June, Chapterhouse Theatre Company took us on a journey into the past and exposed to us how life was lived, society conformed to, solely through acts of characters from 8 talented British actors. Sense and Sensibility was originally a novel written by Jane Austen in 1795. This was adapted by Laura Turner for this traditional production by Chapterhouse Theatre Company. This script was written in such a way that the story was told through the characters' actions rather than exchanges of dialogue, which made the characters more credible and the story more engaging for the audience. As well written as the script was, the story did become difficult to follow at times. The set constructed by Michael Hoyle was simple yet effective. It consisted of a wooden table with 3 old-fashioned wooden chairs to the right of the stage, a curtained screen in the centre towards the back that had like pastel blues and greens running through it, and to the left was a more comfortable setting of 2 cushioned old-fashioned chairs with a white pillar-style bench next to them and olive green fabric draped over.
Hello. Oh, hi. Hello.
The colour palette, or the choice of colours between the set and the costumes, were very similar in that they both used soft pastel colours, which would have been typical of the time the play is setting. This also made it easier and more warm and pleasant to watch, as the colours weren't harsh on your eyes, which really set the tone for the evening. The costumes were very traditional and were designed and made by Pearl Constance. The women wore long, old-fashioned dresses and were mostly pastel blues, greens and yellows. The character of Margaret was a really happy and childish one, and this was also portrayed through her bright yellow dress. The men's costumes were also very detailed and traditional. The costumes were mesmerising to watch and had a very authentic look to them, which helped to transport us into the past. Chapterhouse Theatre Company specialised in travelling outdoor theatre. This particular production of Sense and Sensibility was originally supposed to be performed in the walled gardens at Mount Juliet, but due to the weather it was performed in a marquee elsewhere in the grounds of Mount Juliet. As this was originally supposed to be performed outdoors, there was no lighting set up. Although using artificial lighting could have helped set the tone and the mood of the scenes a little better, the choice in using natural lighting is an admirable one, as it kept to the whole character of the story in this play in its traditional setting. It was a risky but wise choice. The use of audio and singing in this performance was very prominent yet understated, as it was mostly used as a transition between scenes. The music and audio consultant of this performance was Lee Gretton, with Christopher Bruck behind the choral arrangements. A simple melody of that time played on a flute or similar instrument played on a speaker before or following a sad or complex scene. Mrs. Gray, a maid for the Dashwoods, made a brief entrance and exit while singing a simple tune and tidying and preparing the set before or following a happy scene. This use of music in this production worked well as it divided up the scenes while still moving the story along and keeping to the character of this play. This production of Sense and Sensibility featured 8 talented actors, 3 being male with 5 female. Despite that there were only 8 actors, there were 20 characters in this production, meaning each actor played a series of different characters, with the exception of Flora Sowerby, who only played Eleanor Dashwood. Flora Sowerby gave an excellent performance in this production, portraying this character with a sense of calmness and maturity. Rob Peacock played 4 characters, the main 2 being Sir John Middleton and Edward Ferrars. His performance in this production was noteworthy, as he played Edward Ferrars as a more shy and reserved character, yet he played Sir John Middleton as a very loud character with a lot of energy. The opposing characteristics he had while playing these 2 different characters really helped the audience distinguish between which character he was playing in each particular scene. Whereas Lucy Litchfield played both Mrs. Dashwood and Mrs. Jennings, but as they were both motherly characters, it became difficult to know when she was playing which character, which made it quite confusing for the audience. In this performance, there were 3 different servants played by Ashley Holman, Rob Peacock and Liam Webster. Although they had no lines, they still managed to add humour to their performance through their acting. I admired the direction of Sarah Gain in one scene in particular, whereas each character exited the dramatic scene, they turned out towards the audience and showed how they really felt about the occurrences, just through their facial expression. This resulted in laughter from the audience and really added to the credibility of the characters. This production of Sense and Sensibility had a very strong opening, as it introduced to us each character without words as they went about their daily life, with the musical sequence playing in the background. It prepared the audience for what they were about to witness while setting up the story that was about to unfold. It grabbed us from the very first moments and transferred us from the present to the past. It managed to hold us there, even right through the 15-minute interval where the Dashwoods sold programmes and raffle tickets, right through to the end where the play concluded with satisfaction. This production felt authentic and real, performed by 8 incredibly talented British actors from Chapterhouse Theatre Company. I found the standard of acting to be very high, which really enhanced the experience of this production. The costumes were truly magnificent, which really added to the magical atmosphere that was created. Although the pacing of this performance dragged at times, overall it was pleasant. It was also difficult to follow the story at times, which may have been due to the fact that so few actors played a multitude of different characters that were sometimes difficult to differentiate between. This production was filled with moments of laughter and tears. It can only be described as an escape from the reality we know today, while still remaining relevant as we continue to fight for equal rights for women. According to the Chapter House Theatre Company website, they provide warm, traditional, magical theatre. That is precisely what I experienced.